I want to bring in Katherine Schweit now. She's a former executive at the FBI. She ran the agency's active shooter program. Katherine, help us out here. Try to put us in the mind of an FBI investigator or police detective at this point. What sort of information would you be looking for right now?
I think right now it's key that they interview those witnesses who can help put together their case, whether it's at the state or the federal level. I know there are state charges for the press conference that have been charged, but charges can be superseding and federal charges can be filed. And I think the prosecutors will be working together to make sure that they decide what are the best charges, whether they're federal or state charges. So from an investigator standpoint, this is not, sadly, this is more common. We have more shootings this year, 2020, than we had in 2019 that were like this. So right now, the law enforcement agencies have a pretty good system in place. They know what they're doing in terms of gathering evidence and interviewing people. And those are the two first priorities. And right now, even though it's hard for that local police department, I think they've got tremendous support from law enforcement around there. The FBI has brought in their investigators simply to do and handle all the interviews, and then they'll hand those interviews over to the local police department. They're gathering the evidence so that they'll have the evidence for a potential trial or a plea agreement. If you've got all the information and you've got all the evidence, a subject is much more likely to enter into a plea agreement. So that's what they're focused on right now. And I will add that this is an incredibly volatile situation for law enforcement. Mm-hmm. In the research that we did at the FBI, and it has continued, nearly half of the time law enforcement has to engage a shooter, they're killed or injured. So last year, 17 law enforcement officers, 2 killed. In the year before that, there were 8. So we have an increasing number. We also have an increasing number of subjects coming in with body armor on, for instance, willing to risk it all.
All right, Katherine Schweit, we appreciate your perspective on this. Thanks so much. Steve Patterson as well for us in Boulder, Colorado. Thank you, Steve.